Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a supernatural horror film, Insidious Part 1. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film begins with a shadowy figure of an old woman inside a house while the residents are asleep. The scene then changes to Renai and Josh, a married couple who have recently moved into their new home with their 3 children. Renai leaves her still asleep husband, goes downstairs, unpacks their boxes, and organizes their stuff. She stops organizing and looks through a photo album when her son Dalton has woken up. Renai shows her the pictures in the album, but Dalton wants to see photos of his dad. Renai explains that he doesn't have much since Josh is camera shy and dislikes taking pictures. Later that morning, Renai's stressed because she has to take the boys to the school, fetch them after class, and take care of their youngest little girl while organizing their stuff in the house. Later that day, Renai checks out the attic after hearing a faint noise. She accidentally breaks one of the steps on the ladders when opening the light bulb. But fortunately, there's no one upstairs. Later that night, while everyone's downstairs, Dalton sees the attic door slowly swing open. Dalton goes upstairs to investigate, carrying a lamp and his toy. He puts them down and climbs the ladder to pull the switch to turn on the light, but the step cracks, causing him to fall. Dalton sits up, massaging his head, but then he stares at the darkness, with fear evident in his eyes like he has seen something terrifying. The couple rush upstairs after hearing Dalton's screams, leaving their other son with the baby. Josh takes Dalton to his room, while Renai forbids him to go to the attic anymore because it's off limits. Before leaving the attic, Renai finds the box containing her music sheets that she's been looking for all over the house. Morning comes and Josh wakes up Dalton to get him ready for school. However, Dalton's eyes remain shut even when Josh shakes him. The couple rush him to the hospital, where the doctor informs them that Dalton is in an inexplicable coma, a case that they've never seen. 3 months later, Dalton is moved back into the house, while still in a coma. While stressing about writing another song, Renai hears a sinister voice on the baby monitor, screaming, "I want it now!" Renai drops the baby monitor in shock, but she quickly runs to the baby's room and carries her crying baby. Renai calms her down while wandering her eyes around the room, trying to find where the voice came from. She even checks the closet, but fails to find someone. Later that day, the other confesses to his mom that he's scared of Dalton and doesn't like it when he walks around at night. Renai's left speechless after hearing this. Later that night, the son closes his bedroom door, as the sight of Dalton freaks him out. Meanwhile, Renai shares what she experienced earlier that day with her husband. Renai explains how the voice sounded so clear, but there was no one when she checked the room. Their discussion gets interrupted when they hear someone knocking on the front door. Josh leaves the bedroom and goes downstairs to check it out, but there's no one. Josh closes the lights and returns upstairs, while Renai goes to the baby's room after hearing her cries. Renai immediately shouts for Josh after seeing a strange man standing there, but when Josh comes in, the man has completely vanished. They then hear the lock alarm going off, so Josh goes downstairs and is dumbfounded after seeing the front door wide open. Josh turns off the alarm and checks the downstairs, while Renai stays in Dalton's room with their children. He doesn't find anyone suspicious in the house, but the alarm goes off again, so he turns it off and shuts the door. The following day, Josh calls Renai to inform her that he's staying late at work because of the tests he has to grade and meetings to attend. The nurse tells Renai that Dalton hasn't responded to any of the new tests in the following days. Renai sheds tears as she shares with the nurse the heavy feelings she's been having since Dalton mysteriously got into a coma. The nurse excuses herself, and while Renai fixes Dalton's blankets, she finds a bloody handprint on his bed. This makes her confused and terrified at the same time. She immediately calls Josh and begs him to come home right away. Although he still has a lot of work to do, Josh comes home, and Renai tells him that she's scared for Dalton. She adds that she can feel something's not right in the place ever since they moved in. Renai believes that the house is haunted, and she can't stand to be alone anymore. She confronts her husband because she knows he's avoiding their situation by staying late at work. Josh defends himself, explaining that it's just his own way of dealing with stressful things. So Renai throws Dalton's bedsheet with the bloody handprint and tells him to deal with it. Later that night, while Josh is asleep on the couch, Renai wakes up from a nightmare. She sees someone pacing back and forth by their bedroom. The strange man suddenly appears inside the room and charges at Renai, waking up Josh and the baby from her screams. Josh immediately rushes upstairs and finds Renai sitting on the floor while crying. Renai points out to the window where she sees the strange man and tells Josh that he was in the room. Josh checks the windows but finds them tightly shut. Renai cuts off Josh before he can say something and begs him to believe her. She repeatedly begs him that they move to another house, and Josh agrees with her as he embraces her. The family soon moves into a new home. Josh's mother even helps with moving in. One day, while walking back to the house, Renai sees a young boy dancing inside. Renai rushes inside, but the boy has mysteriously disappeared. The glass door softly swings close, and when Renai turns her back, the boy runs behind her. Renai quickly turns around after hearing the boy's footsteps and giggles. She follows him to her son's messy bedroom, but all she finds is the toy horse rocking. The door suddenly slams open, so Renai quickly gets out and checks Dalton. She finds the boy's shoes hiding in the closet inside Dalton's room. So she silently picks up a hockey stick and slowly walks to the closet when the boy pushes the doors open and laughs as he leaves. Renai can only cry as her attempt to start a new life with her family turns out to fail miserably. Later that day, Renai quickly introduces Josh to the priest before he leaves. After his departure, Renai shares with Josh and his mother that the thing in their old house has followed them. She shares her experience with the dancing boy. This prompts the mother to share a strange dream she had about their new house. A scene shows her in the place late at night and going to Dalton's room, where she sees something standing in the corner. She asks its name, but it only replies that it's a visitor. Josh's mother then asks what it wants, and it replies that it wants Dalton, as it points out to Dalton. Subsequently, a red-faced figure standing behind Josh suddenly roars at his mother, but they find no one when the couple check it out. As she panics, they hear noises coming from Dalton's room. They quickly run, but the door won't budge. So Josh forces the door to open, only to find Dalton on the floor, while his room is a mess, almost chaotic. The violent attack in Dalton's room prompts Josh's mother to contact her psychic friend, Elise. Elise sends her two assistants to do some preliminary tests. One assistant talks to the couple, while the other performs the preliminary tests. At first, everything seems normal, but when he sees girls dressed in white standing by Dalton's room, the assistants decide to call Elise. Elise comes to the home early in the morning, and upon a quick inspection, she knows the mother did the right thing by contacting her. They all enter Dalton's room, and Elise looks up and describes to her assistant what she sees. It's a black figure with a bloody red face and dark hollow eyes. The assistant quickly draws the description, following Elise's pace. However, Renai cannot stand it anymore, so she snatches the sketchbook and sees the exact figure that the mother had seen in the house before. Renai turns on the lights, but Elise keeps staring at the ceiling as she sees things the naked eyes can't see. They return to the living room, where Elise explains that Dalton is not in a coma. It's not the houses that are haunted, it's Dalton. Elise explains that Dalton's an accomplished astral projector and has been doing it since he was very young. Dalton's unafraid of this because he thinks of the projections as dreams, but his fearlessness led him too far into the spiritual world, and he got lost in a land called the Further. It's a dark realm beyond the human world, filled with tormented souls of the dead. Without his astral body, the souls in the Further smell his physical body, an empty vessel. These tormented souls crave another chance at life through Dalton's physical body. However, other entities are more vicious and have a more insidious agenda. Elise shows them the sketch of what she saw in Dalton's room and reveals that it's a demon. It seeks Dalton's physical body to cause pain to others. For these entities to possess Dalton's physical body, time and energy are needed. That's why they linger around the demon. Elise warns them that the longer Dalton's astral body is away from his physical body, the easier it is to possess him. In tears, Renai asks Elise if there's a way to bring Dalton back. Elise confirms that there is, but she needs their complete trust. However, Josh disagrees as he's skeptical and even insults the three for helping them. The couple argues in front of their guests, but Josh rudely asks them to leave. Later that night, while in Dalton's room, Josh discovers that his son has been sketching the exact demonic figure Elise described. Josh breaks down into tears after his accidental discovery. Because of this, Josh finally agrees to bring back Dalton, using Elise's expertise. Her assistants set up rigid cameras to capture any changes in the atmosphere, both electrical and temperature. The session begins to try to communicate with Dalton, but when he appears, the demon uses his physical body to fight the group and the other entities that want to possess Dalton. While the other entities terrorize the couple, Elise demands the demon to leave Dalton's physical body. After her repeated commands, the demon finally leaves the vessel. After the session, Elise reveals to the couple that Josh is also an astral projector. It turns out, Elise and Josh's mother had met before because of him, because he was terrorized by an evil spirit of an old woman every night. The mother then shows them pictures of Josh's childhood, revealing a shadowy old woman, the same old woman from the film's beginning. The old woman gets closer in each photo until she's inches away from him. This is why Josh doesn't have many childhood pictures and is afraid of getting photographed. However, Josh doesn't remember any of these because suppressing his memories and his ability to astral projection was the only way to stop the creepy woman from getting into him. Elise explains that the old woman befriended his astral body and drew him out deep into the further, just like his son. Elise suggests that Josh use his ability of astral projection to find and help his son return to his physical body, to which he immediately agrees. Elise sits him on a chair and places him in a trance to prepare for the astral project. As he awakens, Josh finds himself astral projected, seeing his physical body as well as the others in the room. With the help of Elise's voice, Josh proceeds outside of the house, leading to a misty emptiness of everything, even light. Josh encounters a boy, whom he believes to be Dalton, and follows him into the darkness. The boy stops and points out to a house that they moved from. Josh enters the house, hoping that his son is in there. Josh is startled by a woman wearing what seems to be a wedding dress and a long veil. It takes him a while to recover from his startling, so she's gone when he follows the woman upstairs. He returns downstairs after hearing someone whistling and finds a family who seems to be in a stature state. Josh leaves them to look for Dalton, but he returns after hearing gunshots. He finds the family sitting on the couch, shocked by a bizarre smiling family member. Josh removes his gaze away from them for a second, but they're suddenly in front of him when he looks back, smiling creepily. Startled, Josh makes his way to the attic, where he discovers a red door, the same door that Dalton had drawn before he got lost in astral projection. Josh walks toward it, but before he can enter, the violent man that attacked Renai appears and attacks him. They engage in a struggle, and he almost loses the fight. But thanks to Elise's words of encouragement, Josh succeeds in defeating him. After that, Josh enters the door, and this time, he finally finds Dalton. Josh rushes to his son and unchains him, but the demon senses Joshy's presence and attacks him before they can leave. Josh avoids a struggle with the demon and carries Dalton to return to their physical bodies. They successfully evade the demon's lair, but they encounter other entities in the dark and empty mist. As the house begins to shake, Renai calls out to Josh, and with her guidance, the two successfully return to their new home. However, the other spirits heard her voice. The damned souls soon fill the house, while Josh doesn't follow his son after seeing the shadowy old woman. Dalton re-encounters the demon who has followed them, so he immediately rushes to his room to enter his physical body. Meanwhile, Josh confronts the shadowy old woman, and he firmly shouts at her to leave him alone, because he's not scared anymore. With Renai's voice and Joshy's firmness, the shadowy old woman retreats into the darkness. Moments later, Josh and his son wake up, and at that same time, the damned souls wanting to enter a vessel vanish. The family chat in the kitchen, now happily reunited, while Elise and Josh pack up from a long night. Josh hands her his childhood pictures, and as she takes them from his hand, she senses something. Elise suddenly takes a flash photograph of Josh, and he goes into a rage, screaming to her that he doesn't like to be photographed. Josh leaps on her and strangles her to death while screaming at her. Renai hears Josh yelling, so she goes to the living room and finds Elise dead while Joshy's gone. Renai immediately searches the house, looking for him. But instead, she discovers that everyone's gone and the house is dead silent. She comes across Elise's camera, only to find a recent photograph of the shadowy old woman. This reveals that when Josh handed her the pictures, Elise saw that Joshy's hands and nails were dirty and old, similar to the shadowy old woman's. When Elise takes a picture of him, the flash reveals the shadowy old woman, implying that she successfully possessed him. Renai then hears Joshy's voice as he puts his hand on her shoulders, saying, "Renai, I'm right here." Horror envelopes her face as she turns around. The film ends with the shadowy old woman blowing out a candle in the darkness. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.